Good evening. Welcome to A Foreigner in the Philippines. I thought I would do a response to comments that had been made. One particular comment which has to come from someone who is new to our channel, because he says, how can you expect to gain subscribers if you don't respond to your comments, if you don't read them? I read all the comments. Believe me, between Beth and I, we read every comment. Are we able, time-wise, to be able to answer every comment? Of course not. It's just not possible. But I picked out a few here that attract my attention, and I feel that they should get a response because they're on subjects which are important to me. So, one in particular, which it's a subject that's very near to me, and that is leaving kids out. I think I told you, I know that I related an experience when I was a kid that marked me for life and made sure that I would never ever leave a kid out. If I couldn't afford to treat every kid, then no kid would be treated, or it would be downgraded so that everybody could be treated. I was taken to the airport on a bike ride with a friend of mine and his dad, and when we got there, we're looking through the railings at a light aircraft which is giving joyrides. Well, I don't know how much it was in those days, quite a few bob, well, quite a bit to them. My friend's dad approached me and said, Terence, we're going to leave you to take care of the bikes. I can't afford to take both of you, so it's just going to be me and little Jeffrey that are going to go on that ride. I stayed with the bikes, and I looked through, as I say, looked through the fence at them getting on that plane for what I would have thought would be the most exciting thing that had ever happened. And I resolved even then as a little kid that I would never ever do that to a kid. So when somebody keeps saying, I even deleted one of these, keeps saying that I missed out Dodong. We didn't miss out Dodong. Dodong got exactly the same number of candies. How it ever got missed by the video, I'll never know. Believe me, he got everything that everybody else did. Notebooks, candies, those little health food nugget bars. He got it all. Believe me. Okay, put that one to rest. Now, this is something that it's easy to get the point misunderstood. When I talked about how Filipinas may have an idealized version of what life is like in America, I mean the cultural shift when a Filipina goes to America to join the man that she has pledged her love to and has married or is about to marry. The difference is enormous, believe me, and that was the point that I was trying to get over, and that was the point of the exercise when I sat down with that lady from the hardware store and went through her wages right there in the hardware store in the Philippines, here in Bohol, and what her expenses were, and how did she end up at the end of the month, how did it work out. And then we added to all of that the plus of being at home in her own culture with her family, friends, extended families, get-togethers, children, all of those things added in to what her financial situation was. And then we compared what it would be like if she lived in America. Now, my examples were only for instance. For one thing, I went from a memory of a very straightforward little apartment in Fort Myers, which at the time I think was either $460 or possibly $650, and that's what I remember. And we took that as the example of what her rent would be, and we took a McDonald's job with what I thought was $8.50 for the minimum wage. Apparently it's gone up now, and it's a lot more. But even though the minimum wage has gone up a lot more, I understand that you can be paying $800, $900, $1,000, $1,250 for an apartment. And if you're living in California, you can forget it. The prices that were quoted to me there were just horrendous. I couldn't afford to even feed myself on my pensions there, and I think quite a few people are that. But one man wrote to me and said, I work all the time. I work. It's all work. He said, I chat to my neighbours maybe 7 times a year. He said, I have everything to pay for. And he said, I am thinking that it's not worth it, and I want in the future to come to the Philippines. Now, he's going to come. He's going to come on a pension, and if he's been working as hard as he says, then he probably is going to come up with a fair pension, in excess of $1,500 a month, which he can live on here, and he can live without stress and have very likely a second chance in life with another lady. His life may change drastically. That's really what I'm talking about. I have a great respect for Americans. I believe that Americans are possibly among, and they may not believe this about themselves, because just like in the UK at one point in life, British were criticising their British workmen. What's the difference between when a British workman is working and when he's on his break? Well, when he's working, he's leaning on a shovel, and when he's on his break, he puts the shovel down. And they criticised and beat down their own workers, which was a terrible thing and quite untrue. And Americans tend to do this themselves. They beat their own workers up, and they talk about that the quality of work has gone down. I see Americans as being very hard workers, and I don't see them as having the same quality of life as, say, Filipinos here. And I was quoting what a friend of mine said about that Filipinos and Filipinas who become OFWs, they do so at great sacrifice to themselves. And what they don't seem to realize is that they're sacrificing their family. And my friend was quite adamant in his viewpoint that the children will not thank them. The children will only know that they didn't grow up with a father or a mother by their side. And the fact that they were able to go to college or live in a house that was made up with money that was sent home religiously every month won't be enough in many, many cases. So that's kind of that. And as we're just answering, it's a whole subject in itself, but we're just answering the comments. So, rents in Florida, double what I said. Now, Beth and I took the video camera and we went for a stroll. And someone said, no, you've got to walk fast, you've got to get your heart rate up, you've got to, I walk several miles a day, and I get my heart rate up, and this is what you're supposed to do. If you're going for a stroll in the evening before sunset, you do what you damn well like, and we were not going to go on a power walk. We went with the dogs and the puppies, and we strolled along, and that's what we were supposed to do. Yoda and Tiger, that brings me to the 2 little puppies that we took with us on that walk. And you all thought that it was very charming and cute that their little legs were going so fast in order to keep up. I can tell you, in answer to another comment saying, Terence, please don't stop giving help to Yoda. I wouldn't dream of it. And we went to the vet again tonight, late this afternoon, and it looks like the wonderful news is, well, the good news is that I think that Yoda's going to make it fine. His wounds are healing, and the eye, which actually when we first took Yoda to the vet, the eyeball, sorry to get gross, but the eyeball had actually popped out, and our fear was then that that it would get infected and it would turn really nasty. Now, amazingly, we've just been giving him the medicine, which we do through the mouth here. We get the, disgusting I know, but we put it in like this and we can get the medicine into him, same as we can feed him water. Amazingly, even with his broken jaw, he's been able to eat, and he's eating like a champ. He's full of worms, and that's why his belly, he's like, as I said, he's like a round ball of stomach with a leg at each corner, and he's got worms bad. Well, we had that sorted out today as well, and it looks like the eye has actually returned into its socket, which is a great thing because it means that we don't have to have him operated on now in order to remove the eye. So he really is doing great. Now, the other comment of the person who said, "Why is that puppy crying and crying? It's a terrible sound." That puppy got bopped tonight when he came in and had some food and tried to take some food from Golden, and Golden taught him a quick lesson, and he cried like a baby, and he's the one that's been doing it, and Golden hardly touched him, but he was going wah, 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 and he went on and on and on. We chucked him out in the end. So Yoda's doing great, Tiger's doing really good, and we are waiting for him to grow a nice new coat back. What else? Sharing. Somebody instructed us, said they watched the opening of the box and said, "You've got a lot of clothes and candies and chocolate there. You should," and then he went on to tell us that we should share that with everybody. Believe me, you must be a newcomer to our channel if you think that we need instructions on how to share. Boxes come in and they are all shared, okay? And not just with our family. The little chocolates and stuff like that, we always open, if there's chocolates in there, we always open up the box of chocolates, and we always do a hand around to everybody while we're opening the box, and it kind of makes it fun, especially for the kids that are there. So, getting the person who says getting new subs, I think I may have dealt with all this already. You can't get new subs by not responding to your comments. We do respond, believe me, we do, as I'm responding now, but we respond personally. Now let me see if I can find the nice letter which, let me see. Okay, now on the subject of, and it's a subject that will constantly come up, and we'll discuss it and we'll discuss it again and again and again, and it will always be discussed because new people come to the channel and they want to know, and these are people who haven't been watching any of the 5,000 plus videos that we've made. But this lady, it's on the public comments, so I'm sure that, and she signed it Sarah Shaw, and I wanted to close with this because it does kind of say from personal experience what we've been talking about on are Filipinos, are they gold diggers or not? Point I made was, in either case, that they are not gold diggers or they are. If that is stated as that's it, on the subject of they are gold diggers, absolutely, it's a fact. Wrong. And on the subject of are they not gold diggers, and that's a fact, wrong. these are generalizations and it depends entirely on the person. This is the lady. Lady wrote to me, Sarah, and she said, I am married to a foreigner. Our age gap is 28 years, but I love him so much. We are now 6 years being married and 2 wonderful children, 3 years old and 9 months old. It's not about the money. I love him so much and I'm happy to have him. He gives me a vacation every year to the Philippines. It's a happy ending. Chances are that someone coming over and finding a Filipino, statistically this seems to be so. You have more chance once you find, if you make a wise choice and really go into it and don't be fooled by sexy clothes or exterior beauty only. Go and look at the character of the lady, pretty much like you would do if you were trying to make a sensible choice in any country in the world, and you have a good chance of a successful marriage, because actually Filipinos generally general answers don't work generally, do they? They don't believe in divorce and they will try to the end to make it work. That's my belief. I don't state that as fact, but I state that as my experience. I believe that that's how it is. And especially in this day and age now, of course, they want to be secure. They don't want to be out taking in laundry and supporting an overweight foreigner. No, who they thought was rich and turned out to be as poor as they were. No, they don't. They want security like anybody else does. There's a lady that found sufficient security for her, and they have 2 lovely children, a happy marriage despite a 28-year age gap. So, thanks for looking in. I'm happy to have responded to some of the comments. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Bye for now.